Hey YouTube, Dave here, and today we're going to be talking about two knives from the same family of knives from CKC Knives. We have a CKC Thrive, kind of the original design. This one is made out of 6mm N690 steel. It's got a canvas micarta handle. The knife itself is 8.5 inches overall, with a blade of about 4 inches. The weight of the blade is 6.6 ounces, and the overall weight with the sheath is just over 10 ounces. And today, we're going to be comparing it to a Thrive 5, which is a newer version of the Thrive. The steel is 3mm AEBL stainless steel. The overall length of the knife is 9 3/4 inches. The blade length is 5 inches. The handle is Paduke wood with a nice octagonal shape to it for comfort and a wide variety of grips. The weight of the knife is only 4.9 ounces, and the weight with the sheath is 8.6 ounces. So today I'm joined by my daughter, who will be helping me test these out. Basically, one of the things we like to do together is to go camping. So what we're going to do is we're going to take both knives and go through a series of basic tasks that we might use on a camping trip. Some food prep, some rope cutting, and some wood cutting. So basically, I want to begin by talking about the overall look and feel of the knife. So I'll ask my daughter, which knife do you think looks nicer?
I would probably have to say this one, the newer one, because that one looks like it might be heavier with a thicker blade, and I like a nice light blade.
Okay.
And I like a longer reach when I'm using knives, though he hardly lets me. But overall, I'd have to say the newer one looks better to me.
Okay. I do like the wood handle. It's got a very nice look and feel to it, and the octagonal shape is very useful. But I'm a little bit more leaning towards this knife with a thicker stock. I just feel comfortable doing a lot more variety of chores with a slightly thicker stock, considering that the knives both cut really well. And the canvas micarta is reasonably comfortable, so we'll go for that. Alright, so let's talk about how the knives feel in your hand. Why don't you pick each one up and tell me which one feels better in your hand.
I do like the octagonal shape. It gives you a nice grip.
Okay.
It's very light. Feels like it's very nimble. This one you can definitely feel has more weight and would probably get more power behind it. But I would have to say that this is maybe just a little bit too heavy for me, and this one feels more balanced in my hand.
Okay, excellent. Now before we start, I'll just talk quickly. Both of these knives come with a Kydex sheath. The original Thrive, I've put a tech lock on it, and I've mounted it sideways so the knife carries horizontally. I was using this as a utility knife when I was doing some tree and brush clearing. We've had some trees down in storms recently, and so I wanted to carry it on my belt but behind me so it wouldn't snag on branches and so on. For the new Thrive 5, I've put a tech lock on but mounted it with a more traditional vertical carry, so that I could just have it around the house as I need it for more of a general utility as opposed to a yard utility knife. Okay, so now we're going to get into the actual knife usage, but before we do, I'll have my daughter tell me what is the most important consideration when handling tools.
Safety.
And what is the second most important consideration when handling tools?
Safety.
Excellent. So why don't we begin? I've got a tomato for a soft food prep and a carrot for a hard food prep. So why don't we try slicing the tomato? Which knife would you like to use first?
I would like to use the new knife.
Okay. So I will try this. Now while we're doing this, I would like to talk a little bit about my tomato philosophy. Probably most people haven't thought about their tomato philosophy. But I like tomatoes on burgers and sandwiches, but I think often people cut the tomato slices too thick, and so the sandwich or burger the bread gets too soggy, and then also when you bite through you might have the strand of tomato that hangs out. So I like to cut a very thin slice and space them evenly around the sandwich. So I'm trying to cut some fairly thin slices, but it's a little bit tricky with a thick stock.
I'm doing the same thing. However, with the thinner blade, I'm able to get a much thinner slice.
Okay, so why don't we trade? Yeah, I agree. I can get almost a paper thin slice with this knife.
Yeah, and I can't with this one.
Yep.
It just falls apart.
Yep.
This knife is perfect for people who like thick slices.
Yep.
Me, I don't like tomatoes either way, so.
Yeah, there you go. So wipe down the board a little bit messy.
Just move that over there.
Yep. All right, now again with the carrot, I'm trying to get thin slices. I mean this knife is just sharp, and the cutting performance it just slices right through the material if you have very little resistance.
This one is a bit harder with the carrot because it's a wedge shape.
Yeah.
So tends to
Yeah.
want to do it like wood when this is not wood.
All right. Yeah, I agree. I can feel that.
This one is definitely easier.
All right.
I'll probably go with this knife because as the woman, I'm going to be doing all the cooking.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but certainly you're welcome to. All right, so let's clear the food stuff off, and you can wipe your board down.